Ladies and gentlemen, Project Cars 2, we are going to see who's the king of the British, of the McLarens. They claim that the 720S is just as fast, if not possibly faster than a P1. But what I really want to do is try it out. Although this is not the real world, we don't know what the actual cars will do in actual conditions, but I want to see. Simply because whatever data that they have collected, oh, I was going to say they're trying to protect themselves, but they do have the P1 right there. I saw the P1 GTR. So whatever data they have collected, whatever real world physics that they have in the game, we're going to test these two cars out here in the game. I haven't quite decided what track, but I want to start with the P1. We're going to go with Sexual. We'll go Jet Black. Now, I haven't driven any of these supercars in this game yet, so I'm really not sure how they will react or respond to any hard driving. We might as well get, you know what, let's just try it on Laguna Seca. Might as well. I want it to be warm enough so that we have proper adhesion on the ground. And let's go about 1 o'clock. I think that'll do. So, here we go. Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. We're going to start with the P1, then we're going to jump to the 720S. See who's the big dog. This track is long enough for the front straight for the P1 to have a power advantage if it's going to build a top speed. But what they're claiming that the 720S has just enough power to weight to keep up with the P1. So, 720S is smaller. I'm gonna weigh my talents and my wager on, I haven't driven either of the two. I'm gonna say P1. P1, because just in case the 720S puts on power like a rabid freaking rat, I think that I'm gonna be able to handle the P1 better. We'll see. And let's just make sure that we are going to rock the same set of tires on both cars. I don't know if they've got like the Trofeos or anything like that in this game, but once it finishes loading up, we'll be able to test it and see. This is a bug in the game that they've got to fix. There we go. All right. They do have the Trofeos. Okay. They got Trofeo R's. There we go. We're going to rock Trofeo R's. I'm going to leave the tire pressures. Make sure that those are applied. And here we go. Let's just see what... I'm not going to use the DRS or anything, although I think it's set up an automatic from the gate. And I deprogrammed the DRS on the steering wheel, so I don't have the DRS control here on the wheel. Let me have it. Oh my God. That power is insane. And I'm tearing up the splitter. Good God. God, these tires are cold. Okay, this was silly as hell. Tires are cold as hell. Alright, here we go. Since I see the tires are cold and whoa. Let me get a feel for it on this lap. Man, this thing's powerful. This thing is powerful as hell. I love the turbo sounds. Jesus. Sit a little bit closer so I don't have a loop in my vision. It takes a lot of steering on the steering wheel to get this thing to turn. And I promise I'm just testing it on the out lap. I'm gonna do a lot better on this next hot lap. Of course, I have no driver aids on, so it's literally my right foot and my left foot. Gas and brake. Come on, build some speed, baby. Let's go. All right, here we go. Hot lap. I'm gonna shut up now so I can focus. Oh, damn, I invalidated the lap. I gotta go for one more lap. I'm sorry, I'm sucking. This thing it feels heavier than I anticipated. And with all the power and torque, it comes on like a light switch, really. Like I'm really trying to roll in the throttle. I guess it is a little bit harder to drive it without the natural aids that it would have on the car. But we'll just call it race mode, baby. Alright, so like I said, since I invalidated the lap, I've got to go for another one. This thing is swapping down the front straight. This is insane. It gets air right over that crest. Oh, God. This is a lot of work. And I do believe in real life I would not drive this car this hard, because it'd probably be scary as hell. Shit. I don't have the trust in the tires. Or myself, I should say, when I'm pushing it really hard. And invalidated this lap. I promise we're not going to be on the P1 all day. Maybe driving is slower is faster, because obviously trying to drive as fast as possible isn't even getting me a lap time. But given that I haven't driven any of these cars in this game and I don't know how they act, guess we're all right. We'll just call those warm-up laps. This thing is actually scary, to be honest. Okay. Take a lot of care with this. This is 75% throttle. There we go, full throttle. How did I validate my time? I don't get it. What are the tire pressures at? This is insane. They just got to 33 PSI? Okay. Just for test's sake, because this is doing a bit much. This thing is swapping around an insane amount. Wow. Man, I hate looking like I don't know what I'm doing. I promise I do. This is just the first time trying this car. Okay, brake pressure is too much, to be honest. But I want to leave it stock. Man, I gotta leave it stock. Only thing I'll change is the tire pressure. Need about 30 psi. Okay. All right, let's run it again. Starting pretty close to 30 psi. It's 27 front, 26 in the rear. And like I said, we are trying to see who's the king of McLarens. I'm just coming out on here. Tires are cold. So my money is still riding on the P1 being able to beat the 720 here of Laguna Seca. This P1 is just extremely powerful and torquey. Call this the out lap. I'm gonna run hot lap after this. Man, you just gotta trust that the car's gonna turn in. I wanna hold the brakes a little while longer, but this thing is just understeering out. And let off the brakes and let it turn in. You just gotta trust it. Like I said, I wouldn't want to drive this car in person, especially not trying to push it. God dang, it's fast. So no driver aids on a car that usually would have a lot of driver aids on it is quite a challenge. So the same tire pressure that I put on this car, the Trofeo Rs, I'm going to do the same to the 720. This is going to be like 60% throttle right here. It's going to be real. Oh, see, wheel speed climbs like crazy. All right, here we go, hot lap. Let's see what we actually can put down with this beast. And it's really pushing out that far to the right. I am giving it some steering input going inward, but that speed is immense. And I know I'm driving it like I'm scared right now, because I am. Whew, golly. This A-pillar's in my way. Come on, baby, get off. Oh, man. Lap time deleted by race director. I was giving it too much. Let's try it again. I need one more lap. This is a handful of car to drive. Just off of sheer feel. Broke the car. Oh man, this thing is a handful. Bear with me, we're rocking one last time in this car. If I have to pussyfoot it around the track just to make a lap time, so be it. That just goes with this car's nature. If it's that hard to drive going that fast, that's just what it is. If the 720 is easier to drive, then it's going to be a victor, because this car is it's extremely too raw with everything off. take a calm out lap this time. I guess with never driving this car on this game and this track, of course, or in real life, I just don't have any reference as to where I should be placing and putting the car in the braking zones. And it handles a whole lot more sluggish than a GT3 car would, of course, because this is a road car with Trofeo R's on it. I guess driving it more relaxed like this is making it easier to drive, but I was being too intense, I guess. Alright. So I'm virtually going to drive like that this whole hot lap. Let's see what we put forth. Here he goes. Invalidate the time. We're going for it. I don't give a shit. Whatever, even that was red. Whatever the lap time is it puts up, we're going for it. This car tracks out wide on his turns quite a bit. Alright, watch that red disqualified time, or whatever it is. It is. Come on, get in. Just feels like you're moving a lot of weight around. Whatever the time is, baby. It's a little hard to drive with everything off. Wrecking $1 million car. God dang it. What happened to the tires at the end? Wow. I'm going to assume that that would have been at least a 133. Oh man, that's embarrassing. But it's really hard to drive with every aid off. There's no traction control. There's no stability control. ABS is on the lowest level. And whatever else the car might have with it naturally in real life is not applied. So that just makes it an extremely dangerous car to drive. So let's see if the 720S is any better driving it with everything off as well. It's supposed to be a softer, more of a road car feel, but it should be just as brutally fast, which is claimed. So we'll call it 133 for the P1, and we'll see if we can accomplish 133 with the 720S. Although I doubt it. Like I said, my money is on this P1, which it let me down because it was hard as hell to drive. So let's go with the 720S, see what kind of colors they got. Now, this car is not ultimately a good looking car because of the contours of the sunken headlights. Oh, now that color's kind of clean. So we'll roll with this. Trofeo R's are going to be put on the car, and we're gonna do, what was it, 27 and 28 PSI in the tires, and we'll go from there. And this game takes forever to load. And some people are saying that they're dynoing the 720S and it is putting down about 729 to the wheels, which is underrated for what the car is supposed to be putting down, given its name. This car is typically putting out more power than it's supposed to put out. So the theory is that McLaren's trying to protect everybody that has P1s, because this is half the price of what a P1 is. So let's get these Trofeo R's on. It's about 131 degree track temperature, 90 degree ambient. Come on, here we go. And already factory brake pressure is lower, which is a better option. Trofeo R's on it. 27, 28 PSI on that. Okay, here we go. Sounds better, and it's in race mode. It's got the dash down. So let's see how hard this is to drive. P1 felt impossible with all the aids off. So I'm just gonna break out on track, see what this car is all about. Jesus. Okay. So they're claiming that this is supposed to be slower than the P1, but it's already feeling. Man, look at the vision in this cockpit is a whole lot better than the P1. It's just as violent. This car is just as violent. So this is my first time driving. If it looks crazy, it's because I haven't driven it before, so I don't know what this thing has to offer. Seems more tail heavy. Just like the P1, this thing's the steering wheel swaps around because it's looking for traction. Now, I don't know if it's doing that because I have all stability control off, and maybe you wouldn't feel that with everything on, but this thing's a handful. All right, this is just the warm-up lap. It doesn't matter if this race director's gonna delete it. Whatever that lap time shows, that's what it's gonna be. 133 is the estimated for the P1. Jesus, this thing. Definitely isn't as tough to drive as the P1 is. But it goes just about the same pace. This thing is going. I may have to drive the, oh god dang. Wheel spin just rolls up on you. I may have to drive the P1 again after this. The vision is so much better in this car. Wow, this thing is good, man. Definitely feels easier to drive. A little bit of wheel spin. at 133, 133. I'm gonna put in one more lap. I've got to see. Wow, man. It's still just as tough because of the speed that's built, but it seems more comfortable. All right, so forget all that. 133, 133. I got to jump back into P1. I have to because I have my money riding on the P1. That car seems a whole lot easier to drive. So there's a possibility I probably could have put down a 132, maybe a 131, possibly a 130 if I really get comfortable with the car and push this thing hard. And as sad as it is to say, I could definitely put in a faster speed and faster time around the track if I turn the aids on. But I'm not going to do that simply because, nah. But I have my money riding on the P1, and I think the 720 might be faster in my hands on this game. I've got to give the P1 its just dessert if this game would make its way to the goddamn choosing screen. There we go. I can't accept that this P1 might possibly be slower around the track than the 720S. Game's loading, by the way. It just takes forever. The chassis on the 720S is better. It definitely seems like the suspension's better too, simply because it's more comfortable to drive. When you put the power fully down on the P1, it'll spin tires through third gear up the front straight. 720S will give you a little bit of squirrely action in second, but by third gear it's locked and loaded. Chassis and suspension, I can only assume, because both cars have Trofeo R's on them with the same tire pressure in them and the same guy behind the wheel. Not saying that I'm amazing or anything, but at least I'm consistent. This P1 does understeer more than the 720, and I gotta give it another go, because aside from the F1, this is probably my favorite car in the McLaren lineup. Oh, let me make sure that we do have the Trofeo R's on it. This takes forever and a day. There we go. Okay, Trofeo R's. Okay. So let me keep it on the track, baby. 133 is the time that 720 set. 133 is the time I must beat in this P1. One lap to do it. Out lap is the warm up. Second lap is hot lap. It's even spinning forth. And if you can see with the vision, the A-pillar and that port window are all on my way. That might be another reason why the 720 is a little easier to drive. Jeez, this, man. Gotta keep my composure on this. Let me get this shit off the screen so I can fully focus up. It's funny because I want to throw the McLaren F1 in the mix too. I might as well if I'm gonna really try to claim the big dogs of the Brits. You got a like 85% throttle. Now I'm floored. Now let's see what this thing got. Ooh, just lifting because I'm pumped. This thing got some kind of understeer in it, but we're keeping it together. And I actually feel like I'm driving the thing faster now. Wheel spinning fourth, baby. I'm keeping it rocking, even though the time just went red. $133, 133 is what we're looking for. This thing is actually really good if you drive it with a nervous composure. It's almost like driving a 911 with no low speed aero. No, not like the last time. Oh God. It's faster. It's faster. But I'm so sure I can get a faster time with the 720. That's the bad part. 720 is a lot easier to drive. And this, because this is my first time driving both of these cars. Oh, man, these are good platforms. If I was going to track supercars, hypercars, may I say, it's quite possibly going to be something like this if I could afford it. Because it would be, this is like the rawest form of a car you can get. Rear-wheel drive, a whole lot of turbo sounds, and just enough grip that you can go fast, but just enough grip that you're not going to be the fastest unless you really take good care with it. Fuck. And so much power, even 50% throttle will get you in a bad position, in an inopportune position of a corner. God dang. We're just gonna roll on. Because this car has no coupe. 131. Oh, man. Okay, so this thing is really fast. If you keep yourself together, let's look at the hot lap. Tiptoed that deep line. I don't even think, see the thing about video games opposed to real life, right? You're never gonna see anybody driving this car in real life that hard with no regard. See, the problem is I'm sitting here in this nice comfortable chair, although it's the closest simulation rig setup that you're gonna get at home aside from everything that moves and whatnot. But I'm sitting in this nice comfortable chair, not dealing with all the G-forces and loads that this car has to offer, and I'm not flooring the hell out of it feeling myself get stuck to the seat and all the experiences. So I'm able to sit from this place and drive that car harder than I would in the real world because I don't have the fear of destroying $1.3 million and possibly killing myself. So I guess that's the benefit of this, but let me get a hold of a P1 in real life. I bet I respect the shit out of it and drive it as fast as I'd be comfortable with, I should say. Alright, and that's the lap. So, geez, that thing, 131,451. 131,451 is what it turned out. Oh, man. If the 720S pulls faster than that, like I said, my money was riding on the P1. If the 720S pulls faster than that 131,451, it could have it. It could have it, because I right now wouldn't be able to drive that P1 any faster. Then right after that, we're just gonna throw in the ringer and put the F1 in. F1's not gonna be as fast as this. I just want to see how it feels. Since we're driving, the kings of McLaren and all right now. But I think I'm pretty confident that the P1 is going to hold that top tier. Man, that 720S is really close. If it can get in the 131s, I'm going to fully respect it. If it gets closer to 131.4, man, everybody that bought P1s and you don't have a 720S, I feel sorry for you. So let's see if this game will load. Let's get in the 720S and go for it. Feeling actually kind of nervous because that was all I had with the P1. I gave it all she had, Captain. Let's go with the 720S, this demon face looking car. And if it loads, we go. So currently right now, as you see, I'm driving with the open wheeler rig. Full setup. I've got the shifter here, of course, but these cars don't require the use of it. Logitech G29. It's an alright wheel. Now that I see that the Fanatec has allowed PS4 use and they have a new Fanatec wheel for the PS4, that is going to be my next purchase, as well as the nice handbrake upgrade as well, since it just plugs right into the wheel. And this wheel does not have buttons on the shifter, and I hate chasing buttons on the steering wheel. So I don't use handbrakes on any of these games, even when I'm drifting. I more or less rather use shift lock, putting it in a lower gear and letting the clutch pop out to kind of stall the rear tires, than chase a button on the wheel for handbrake. So that's the equipment that we're using right now. And like I said, the steering wheel is okay. The feel of it is okay. The game has a ton of force feedback settings and steering wheel selected options to give you a good experience. So the wheel feels a lot better here on Project Cars 2 than it did on 1, than it does on Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa has an okay feel, but it's really light in the wheel, and no matter how much you turn it up, once you understeer, the force feedback goes a little weird. This game, it offers a lot more. It offers a little bit of a better feel, especially when it understeers. The force feedback doesn't just go numb. You actually get some good steering out of it, and you can still feel where you're reclaiming traction on it. Make sure we got your fails. Yep. All right, 131.451 is the time to beat. And I'm feeling kind of nervous because I pushed that P1 as hard as I could drive it. And I kind of feel like the 720 got some more left in it. All right, here we go. We're just getting out. Sounds really good too. Cold tires. This is just the out lap. All I'm doing is just getting some heat in the car. It's got 131 track temp, 90 degrees ambient temp, so everything should be nice and hot by probably the next section of corners. This car just feels like it's gonna go faster, man. And the vision, as you can see the front portion of the window by the mirrors, I don't have that little port and the A-pillar. It is further forward. It's lower, it's looking like a lower roof line, but I don't know, I'm not sure. Can't really get a good angle from this position. We do use the helmet. I use the helmet view all the time because he looks at the apexes. And until this game allows for VR, I got my VR headset right there. Until this game allows for VR, this is the closest thing I can get to it. Alright, we're going for it. Got heat in the car. 131,451. That's what I just put in with the P1. Let's see if the 720S is really here to play. Little wheel spin, swapping. Once again, the aids are fully off. Ooh, God. You gotta run a similar line with these two cars. It builds so much straightaway speed. Really got to trust the brakes, get on the brakes early, real quick, roll out and let the car turn in. This car seems more ass heavy. God, it's powerful. About 80% now it's full throttle. 131.5. Now, how does a car that only has 720 horsepower and is only maybe 100 or 200 pounds lighter put in the same lap time? Jeez. It didn't feel like I was working. It's the same exact line I took as well. So, like, I'm consistent. I'm not saying I'm driving these cars as fast as they possibly can go, but I'm driving them consistently. This is easier to drive. And it puts power on smoother and more of a positive contact feel. The P1, if you roll on throttle in the gear that you probably should be in the corner, it spins tires. This thing gets it to the ground and goes. Look how positive it is, and it slows down way better than the P1 does. The P1, when you stab brakes, it'll roll the nose down and it will go track out opposed to going track in on the corners. This thing just brakes straight linear. And I was even pussyfooting right there. I could have been on the throttle to bring it out wider to the apron. But remember, the McLaren put down 131.4. Just put down 131. Wow, man. That's incredible. Well, my money was on the P1. Looks like I had to eat that. But look, check it out. Just for shits and giggles, we're going to throw the OG ruler, the McLaren F1 in the mix. And hell, that thing comes with no driver aid. So I should be right at home in it, right? Driving these hypercars, this latest technology with no driver aid, as if they were the McLaren F1, was a handful. So only thing I have to worry about with the McLaren F1 is the adhesion that the tires provide, because the car was designed to be driven the way I'm driving it. Those two cars are designed totally different, and I'm driving them like a jackass because I don't have any assist on. So let's see if I feel more at home with the McLaren F1. Definitely isn't going to put in anywhere near those kind of lap times, because that's some really light cars with a lot of power. Matter of fact, let's just look up how light the 720S actually is opposed to the P1 as I jump in one of the greatest cars to ever grace the planet. And Lord have mercy, it looks good in red. Yep, let's roll that. I don't believe there will be any Trofeos available for this car. So we're just going to go with the best tire that it has, and I'll probably run the same tire pressures that I did for those two cars. Wow. 720S is 28.29 on the weight. Damn, this thing takes forever to load. Well, that makes sense. P1 is 3411. 720S is 2900. So, given the difference in power and the similarity in lap time, I guess we can call that a wash. But I still like the P1 more because it sounds a little bit better. So let's see what the F1 has to offer. All right, same tire pressure as the previous two. And all this has is track compound. And I get to use the shifter now. And it sounds amazing already. Wow, that sounds tinny. Oh, the steering wheel jumps around, and the center position in the cockpit is providing all the vision. This is amazing. We're gonna keep this thing together. We're not crashing this. Wow, this thing has some back to it. Jesus. And it's extremely easy to control. Understeer is mid-corner though. God, this is such a great car. This definitely swaps around on you quite a bit. Move my seating position forward. This is full view. God, this is great. Mirror position's amazing. Ooh, golly, this thing. Alright. Let's go for a lap time. Lap time's up by top left mirror. Jesus. This is tough. I have to drive this 3 feet. This car likes to slide, baby. Oh, man, come on. This hill is extremely tall. And when you stopped on it, it's extremely high. It's a huge grade. Doesn't look that bad when you're driving up it. Tires are dusty right now. Let me get the dirt off them. Man, this car is a handful. Oh, man. It's ass heavy. Let's get what's this got, man. Let's go. Going through sliding. It's impressive that this game's physics allows you to feel the chassis isn't as good and tight. Of course, it wouldn't be, it shouldn't be, but I'm impressed that even through a mid-grade wheel, I could feel that from the game. The physics is really good on this car, Project Cars. Come on, settle yourself. She likes to slide. This is a busy car to drive, baby. This is a whole lot more fun. 34 lap time. This is a whole lot more fun than the other two, but at least we got to settle it. 720S is... Wait a minute. Oh, okay. All right. I do remember that rear wing being active, but not on braking. But then again, it's been ages since you've seen the McLaren F1 be driven hard. It looks so great. So the debaters settled 720S as far as these physics and this game engine goes, is a faster car around Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. But the F1 is fun. Way more fun. And sounds better. Getting the slide on. That's amazing. That would make you shit a little bit, because that much money going sideways between walls, nah, I wouldn't be for it. All right, so that's it. Debate settled. I suck as a driver. Trying to drive those cars straight away with never driving them before. But we put the lap time in and we're able to achieve very, very similar lap times. Given the power and weight, it's kind of an obvious relation with having a 720 horsepower, 2,800, 2,900 pound car, and close to 1,000 horsepower, 3,400 pound car. Same lap times. So that's going to be all she wrote. And we gone.